course, we have with us Srija joining us. Srija, what happens next for Sri Lanka now that the Prime Minister and the President both have announced their resignation? So for now, we'll have an interim leader, but fresh elections soon, and will that finally get Sri Lanka out of this worst economic crisis?
Well, the next few days is going to be very crucial for Sri Lanka in terms of political developments. Has anything at all changed after Speaker's announcement, where he went on to talk about that Gotabaya Rajapaksa has announced his, in fact, from stepping down from the post of President on 13th of July. When NDTV spoke to, some of especially anti-government protesters on ground and some of the activists, what they say is that they're not very sure if that's really going to happen on the 30th. Now, that is given the political history of Sri Lanka and also because of the Rajapaksas, because this is definitely a huge fall from grace for all the Rajapaksas, because never in the history of Sri Lanka, political history of Sri Lanka, you would have seen where a pricing as big as this, because we're talking about a crowd over the last 3 to 4 months, which was just about probably 3 to 4,000 and probably just about another 10,000. But this number had outnumbered the army, the special task force, the police, and you could see the demonstrators, in fact, storming the old parliament, completely taking siege over the old parliament, also storming the presidential palace and also the president's house. And eventually the day ended where we went on to see where Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, his private residence, set on fire. Now, that is the anger of the protesters. That is the anger of the citizens, because for very, very long time, they have been protesting. And yesterday what we saw was the 92nd day of the protest. And did it really had to reach a point where especially the protesters had to just breach the heavily guarded presidential palace, and eventually where we went on to see where Gotabaya Rajapaksa had to flee from his residence and then take refuge on a ship. So the whereabouts of Gotabaya Rajapaksa is still not known.